Knights playing as well as they are, you will not want to miss seeing their next home game in person. Baltimore comes to town for the first time to Metro Stadium. It's the next New York Knight home game. Call 1-800-GO-KNIGHTS. Get your tickets now. Or you can listen live here. Oh, look at Parkeet Scholl! This is ridiculous! That is another touchdown! Parkeet Scholl! I'm speechless. I can't believe this guy. I mean, look at the burst of speed at the second level.
4 down linemen for Louisville in what appears to be a 4-2-5 set. Coleman back to pass. Coleman pump fake, and then a sack. Rick O'Reilly with the big play to force the Houston punter on the field for the first time tonight. And for O'Reilly, that's sack number 7 on the season. O'Reilly, a monster on the inside. Big play there for the Louisville defense.
First and 10 of the 26, Marconi dropping the throw. And Marconi against the late blitz will go deep down the field, and that one is caught! Pass Grayson Abarazzo. Shigeki can't catch him. It's a Mauler touchdown. The 3rd touchdown for Abarazzo in the game. And it just looked like the Legend defense kind of got tangled up. And Grayson went for the pick, and he over pursued.
That was just an outstanding throw by Rocco. I mean, he's 6'5", I believe. Yeah, he's 6'5", 225, long, rangy, strong, quick arm.
Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli going to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Kendall Gilbert, and Baltimore's on the board. Give me some of that crab call. Baltimore cuts into their early deficit. Rastelli's got 6 touchdowns and no picks in the last 6 quarters of action. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Christensen will pass again. They are staying away from Kim. That ball, oh, it's belted up in the air, and Nick Nitro picked it off. That is tremendous defensive effort. Who dove in front of that pass? That was a Qantas Shine, who dove in front of the pass and knocked the ball up in the air. That was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a long time out of a Qantas Shine. A.J. Levy, 6 seasons, all with Sioux Falls, the strong safety number 42. Chris Dodd, free safety in his 3rd season, wears number 49. Alex Parker and Nick Fargo, the linebackers, 91 and 92 respectively, as Rahman steps up in the pocket. Rahman gonna air it out deep, and Thomas Rahman's pass intercepted off the deflection by A.J. Levy. What a play by the veteran.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. Levy and Dodd, probably the best safety combo here in the SFL. And Levy, a longtime veteran leader of this defense, comes away with his 6th interception.
So 4 receivers set here on 3rd down and goal. I guess this won't be a run. Christensen in the gun, looking towards the end zone, firing into the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. The Pride extend their lead.
What a throw by Christensen again. Has all day to throw and a post route. And that one, I mean, it's not bad coverage by Chappelle. It's just a perfect throw and a great route by...
3rd down and 2 from the 12. Go Knights rings throughout Metro Stadium. St. Clair to pass. St. Clair to the end zone. Intercepted. Oh no. Joe Lynn picked it off. You gotta be kidding me. And 1 first down will give the Crabs yet another 1-possession victory over New York. 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Overstreet, right side. Overstreet makes 1 man miss, and then another. And here goes Overstreet off to the races. Down the sideline, 20. He will be not tackled, and he scores again. 17th touchdown for David Overstreet, and Louisville has scored 19 straight points. And Overstreet is checking on the pulse of Oklahoma City.
Week 4 SFL action continues this evening from Kings Coast Stadium in Vancouver, Canada, as the Vancouver Legion host the Minnesota Legends. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs, and joining me in the booth is amateur mover Gerald Smith. With us on stats, Mark Mello and James Walters. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Gerald, how are you and your packing doing tonight?
Doing great. I didn't pack my mic, and it works just fine.
That's all that we need. So there's a pair of playoff teams from last season that are going to face off tonight, each currently at the top of their divisions. Minnesota hasn't lost all season. They've only gotten better, defeating their opponents by increasingly more points each week. Vancouver had their home opener last week in a wacky defensive slugfest that came away with their first loss. Neither of the team's quarterbacks managed to score a touchdown last week, each throwing interceptions. In particular, Christian Brown of Vancouver, who had 4. Minnesota relied heavily on their running game, which netted them 5 scores, but tonight they're going up against the number 2 league rushing defense. What are the keys to victory for these two teams?
The defense will likely win this game for both teams. Both teams have a top 8 rushing attack, and both have a top 8 rushing defense. But I don't think that's where the game will be decided. The quarterback play against the opposing defense is where the game will be won. Minnesota's Johnny Rito has been the most accurate quarterback thus far this season by only throwing 1 interception with a QBR of 125.8, along with only being sacked 2 times. Vancouver's Christian Brown hasn't been quite that good, but he is 6th in completion percentage and has only been sacked 4 times. Whichever defense can pressure the opposing QB and force them to make mistakes will come away with the victory.
All right, well, as Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that is on the field. So down to the field we go to get this one started. Minnesota kicking things away. Mickey Malillo with the kick. The return straight up the middle. Are we going to have a big play? Well, it's a nice return all the way up to the 37-yard line. Brought up by Justice Blackwell. And that is where Vancouver will start their first offensive possession of the evening. Led by quarterback Christian Brown. Not the greatest week last week, Gerald. He was 26 of 38, 261 yards, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to do better than that this week.
High formation on first down. He's going to hand the ball. No, he's sacked before he can even hand it off. Gerald, I don't know if that was supposed to be play action or if Max Knight was just so fast getting back there that he didn't even get a chance to hand it off.
No, and Max Knight is so huge, too. 6'5", 350. I just don't think the offensive lineman said he decided he didn't want to block that guy on that play or something.
No thanks. Max Knight with 2.5 sacks last week in the win over Sioux Falls gets his first on the first snap of the game. Justice Blackwell getting that short pass over the middle. That one complete for a gain of 5. Sets him up with a 3rd down and 8. A very quick 3rd down, it seems.
Yeah, and even look, and even on that throw right there, they were getting some good pressure right up the middle on him, right? So if my inaccurate analysis holds true, that could spell trouble for Vancouver.
4 wide receiver set on 3rd down. Brown deep drop, looks, fires past the first down marker and connects with Brett Killian, stepping out of bounds at the 43-yard line in Minnesota territory, moving the chains for the first down. Let's introduce the starting offense for the Vancouver Legion. You just saw quarterback Christian Brown. Halfback is Robert Redford. The fullback, Sawyer Stern. The wide receivers, Justice Blackwell, Hector Huxley, Brett Killian, and the blind albino, Chris Curtis. The tight end is James Walters. Shoring up the left side of that offensive line, Mike Coverson and Michael Percoco at left tackle and left guard, respectively. 5 receivers set on 1st and 10. Brown in the gun, under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Once again, getting into the backfield pretty fast is this defense. B.J. Lovelace applying the pressure.
Yeah, they decided to bring the blitz, and they just came right up the middle, had the big guys up front being held up, and seemed like they just left a little bit of a sliver of a hole for him to just kind of get through and pressure the quarterback and, rush his throw. And luckily for, Vancouver, was able to just throw it to the turf.
2 backs in the backfield on 2nd down. They'll hand the ball off to Robert Redford, gets his first carry of the ball game, and that one goes absolutely nowhere. The starting defense for Minnesota, the defensive line, Angela Meerkat, Mark Mello, Buster Johnson, and Max Knight. The linebackers, B.J. Lovelace, Axel Raven, and Juan Mississippi. The secondary is made up of Cody Griffin, Johnny Bravo, Rick Evans, Daniel Wright, Tigga Clay, and Derek Meerkat. 3rd down and 10. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Brown in the gun. Fires over the middle, and that one is caught. Once again connecting for a 1st down on a 3rd and long, this time to Chris Curtis.
Yeah, he had no problem seeing that one coming at him, right? Was able to get his team a 1st down to move the chains, and they've only had success on 3rd down so far, it seems like, right? Going to their, 2 really good receivers, veteran receivers at that. And Brett Killian on the 1st 3rd down, and right there to Chris Curtis on the 2nd one.
Brown to throw on 1st down. Goes up top. Back-to-back passes to Chris Curtis. That one a little shorter, but still good gain of 9. 2nd down and 1. Right on the edge of the red zone.
And look, and last week, and they're moving the ball a little bit better this week than what they did all game last week, especially on this drive. Here they are. Look like they're, right on the edge of the red zone here. So, they pick up 1 more yard. They're able to reset themselves some downs and, hopefully get them a score because they struggled. They didn't score any touchdowns. All they have was 3 field goals last week in the loss to Atlanta.
Brown 4 of 5 for 46 yards so far on his opening drive. Redford with his 2nd carry. That one goes for negative yards. His 1st carry went for nothing. His 2nd one goes for -1. 2 carries, -1 yard so far on the night for Robert Redford.
It seems like right here early, at least on the line of scrimmage, that Minnesota's actually winning in the trenches right now, right? So far, it hasn't hurt, Vancouver, but here they are at a 3rd and short. See if they can convert.
Hand it off to Redford again. This time he gets positive yardage, just enough to move the chains. 1st down and 10 from the 19-yard line. Redford averaged 3.7 yards per carry last week. Gerald, 22 carries for 81 total yards. He also, as you mentioned, did not find the end zone.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a struggle for Vancouver offensively, right? They would get down in that area of the field, and they'd have, like the wheels would just fall off, and they could get no momentum going. But it looks like this drive is doing pretty good for them.
Short drop, quick pass over the middle. They find the end zone this week. Touchdown Vancouver. Chris Curtis for 6.
Yeah, nobody from the Vancouver offense saw the end zone last week at all. But like you said, the man who can't really see all that well, the first one to find him in the end zone and put 6 on the board for his team.
Believe it or not, that is only the 2nd touchdown on the season for a Vancouver receiver. And the only other one was also to Chris Curtis. So the receivers not really scoring a lot of touchdowns through the first 3 weeks of action. And on the opening drive, they are able to get one on the board. Extra point is up by chance to win, and it is good. 7-0, Vancouver with an early lead. If you are new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, you can visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith, Mark Mello, James Walters with us on stats, Cameron Irvine, our comedian/producer, back at SFL HQ. I'm sure we'll hear from him throughout the night with some studio updates. And it's time to see now what Minnesota's offense can do. Johnny Reno, the quarterback, coming out onto the field with his offense. 26 of 31, 252 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick last week in the win over Sioux Falls. The throw on the opening snap, and the defense says, I don't think you're going to throw. Gerald Giudice in the backfield, Cabron Womack right there with him, loss of 4.
Look, and these defensive linemen have come to play. Like Minnesota on their very first defensive play, they get a sack, and Vancouver's like, hey, I'm going to return the favor. And these two quarterbacks just do not get sacked at all. That's only Johnny Reno's the third time he's got sacked on the season.
Reno in the gun now on 2nd and 14. Oh, pressure. Almost there. Wow. Great defensive effort so far by Vancouver. Achilles Papatonis was right there, and then Earl Fields the 4th getting his hand on the ball. Could not quite come away with the pick, but That was all Vancouver on that snap as well. 3rd and 14.
Yeah, and I don't know if Johnny Reno just didn't like getting hit on that first play, but it seemed like he was a little bit rushed on that play, and he just didn't look too comfortable back there making that pass.
5 wide for Reno. He'll throw short of the line to gain. It's complete. Adam Banks with the connection. But it'll bring up a quick 4th down and 7. Let's roll through the offensive starters for Minnesota as their special teams unit comes out onto the field. The quarterback is Johnny Reno. The halfback, Colin Hart. Fullback, Chris Komisak. Wide receivers are Buchanan Simons, Queg Mam, Jay Taylor, and Adam Banks. The tight end, Christian Bachagalupi, as well as Jason France. The punter, Ryan Platt, on the field now to kick this one away. Justice Blackwell waiting back at his own 40, waiting to receive. Grabs it, goes up to the 43-yard line. And that is where Vancouver will start on this possession. Gerald, they started their last possession at their own 34. This time they've got it at their own 43. 10 plays, 64 yards later, they were able to connect with Chris Curtis for a touchdown. What do you think for this drive?
Yeah, I think you do more of the same right there, right? Like, look, and they have Redford in their back pocket, right? Like, like I said, even last week, one of the most underrated running backs in the league, especially for his veteran status.
Redford spins past the first defender and gets a nice gain of 8 on that one. Harish Prasad in the chat on pause watch, and I think that one was a little early. It's not really pause worthy, but glad to see Harish here monitoring what we say, Gerald, so that he can clip it and make you look silly.
Yeah, well, I it made me feel like I made it. The clip they got of me.
Whoever was under that pillow didn't make it, that's for sure. Well, that's going to get clipped. Redford on 2nd down gets the first and a little bit more, tackled at the 45-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Vancouver in Minnesota territory.
Yeah, and they're doing it a little bit different on this drive, right? They, 2 Redford handoffs right here, right? One for about 8 yards and this one for about 4. So, early on, Vancouver's given the Minnesota defense a little bit of a different look on their second drive.
Short drop by Brown, throws over the middle, and a rare drop by Brett Killian.
Yeah, I think the future Hall of Famer Killian right there. I think Christian Brown waited a little bit too long to throw it, and both receivers were kind of crossing right by one another, and I think maybe the other thought the other was going to grab it, and then by the time they realized, oh, hey, I have a better chance of this guy, it's a little bit too late.
2nd down and 10. Brown down to the bottom, connecting with Curtis. Nice gain on the play. Sets up a 3rd down and 1.
Curtis with 12 yards per catch. If my math is right. Is that right? Maybe not.
Is it that Bayou math that you got going on down there?
Yeah, man, I got good math.
Redford on 3rd down. Tackled for a loss of 1, and they're outside of field goal range, I would say, from the 36. That'd be a long field goal. Might see 2 win come on and give it a try, but 4th down and 2.
Yeah, it looked like Redford had, wide open spaces on the outside, and he put a spin move on a little bit too early, and and got us up. Look at this.
Yeah,
this
keep
is going to be interesting
out there. I'd snap it. 36-yard line, you don't feel comfortable kicking a field goal, hand it off to Redford, just let him get the 1st down for you. Averaging 4.6 yards per carry on the season, he could probably get this one. Sawyer Stern averaging a couple yards per carry too, but no, they'll burn their first timeout. As Harish would say, timeout queso. Calls it timeout cheese. I just like to change the word cheese, Gerald.
Oh, yeah, it totally missed me. I'm like, man, what queso has to do with a timeout?
Suddenly got hungry.
It'll be nacho timeout or something.
I've been practicing my Spanish on the on an app. I'm trying to learn the language of my team.
He said, look, Bridge City Birds, a queso is overrated.
Well, he's Canadian, so. Ryan Platt on to punt. No, excuse me, Brian Patrick on to punt for Vancouver. Going to try to Drop this one inside the 10, bounces down at the 8, and bringing it back into the end zone is a guy who will probably be cut next week, backup tight end, Ali Silvey. And Minnesota will start at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, man, all he had to do was just like stop, or it was so high in the air he didn't have to wait for it to come down and catch it on a run. He could have just stopped right underneath the ball and just caught it.
So on first down, Reno will start in the gun and does an out route down to the bottom, gets the completion. Short gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7.
And there was the Vancouver defensive line had really good penetration coming in there and getting, trying to get after the quarterback. It seemed like almost all 4 defensive linemen had, the edge on their, on their opponent there, just coming like right up the middle.
6 on the line for Vancouver. Reno gets it out to Hart. Haven't seen him yet today, and this time we do. Gets 6 on the plate, 3rd down and 1 for Colin Hart. 10-season veteran, Gerald. I know he spent some time on your team as well.
He's an excellent running back, right? And him, too, is a future Hall of Famer, and I just don't think he either gets the credit he deserved. And even last week, I think he accumulated nearly half of his yards on the season just last week.
Hart gets the first down on a short carry. And, on the season, Colin Hart has just shy of 300 yards now with that carry. Yeah, he's actually still a couple yards shy. 298 yards on the season. 143 of them did indeed come last week. Also had 2 touchdowns, long as 79. Let's see if there's any big plays in this one from Colin Hart. Fresh set of downs now for the legend. Short drop by Reno. Pass over the middle into traffic, and it's picked off. But, Gerald, I don't think it's going to matter. I think there was a little PI on that play.
That's a bad call.
I don't know. He was getting tackled before the ball got there.
No, man, it hit the guy. It hit him in the back. He just turned around. I mean, what? I mean, it's man. It's just like in other leagues, man. Like if you turn around and you kind of play the guy, and the ball hits you in the back, they're like, oh, it's PI. No, man. He just turned around because he wasn't worried about the ball. He was just trying to lay out the wide receiver, and he gets called for PI for just making a good play. If he would have played the ball, I don't think he would have called that.
Oh. The ball is back in. Oh, well, is it? I was going to say the ball is back in Minnesota's hands, but, man, Reno almost gave it away on back-to-back throws. Great defensive effort by Zach Lay. Got his hands on the ball. Let's actually run through the starting defense for Vancouver. The defensive line, Achilles Papatonis, Cabron Womack, and Gerald Giudice. We've actually already called all 3 of those names in place. Linebackers are Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields IV, and Marquise Reed. The secondary is Major Key, Michael Lister, Zach Lay, Mark Lopez, Will Stern, and Drew Hamilton. 2nd down and 10 for Minnesota. Reno, short drop, pressure on its way. And it is complete out to Christian Bachagalupi, the tight end with the most fun name to say in the entire league. 3rd down and 4.
Reno, I actually thought he might have been taking a sack, but he looked extremely comfortable as the pocket just was kind of collapsing all around him. But he just stood in there and, waited for his tight end to come open and was able to hit him.
Third down and 4. Reno, flag on the play. Passes batted down by Josh Farnsey, but we'll check what the flag is. Probably offensive holding, so probably will not matter. And it is indeed offensive holding. Gerald, there is a feline in the booth. I'm not sure if we should call security. Do you call security on a cat? But my analyst under attack right now by a cat.
Yeah. She just wants to get her voice on the television too. Maybe she was upset because I got clipped and I got on social media before she did.
Yeah, you know what they say about cats. They, I don't know. I really am not sure where I'm going with that one, but maybe she did want to be on the air. Ryan Platt punting this one away. Fair catch called for back at the 22-yard line. Vancouver will get the ball back now with their worst starting field position of the night.
And look, and if they can continue to do even that drive kind of fell short on them, on their second drive, they still moved the ball well, right? Just a misstep by Redford, right, caused them to have that fourth down. But if they just continue to do what they've been doing, and they can move the ball.
Christian Brown steps up, throws, hit as he throws. Led Justice Blackwell a little too far. Second down. We've got an update back from SFL HQ. Cameron Irvine, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Mike. We expect plenty of fireworks in San Diego tonight. On the first play of the game, Pseudo Nakai fumbled. Vegas turned that into a Doug Britton touchdown. And the Fury have the early lead on the unbeaten Mavericks, 7-0. Back to you all in Canada.
Thank you, Cam. Second down and 10. Quick pass over the middle. That one is complete. Nice quick throw. Catch by Chris Curtis. First down up at the 34.
And Christian Brown loves him some Curtis right now. And he just, look at this. I'm surprised he still held on to the ball. He took a shot to the ribs right as he caught the ball.
Feral cats running amok in Kings Coast Stadium. Unbelievable. First, see if we come back. First down and 10. Robert Redford with the swing route. That one will be a loss of 1. Second down and 11. Redford really not getting a whole lot going quite yet, Gerald. 6 rushing attempts, 13 yards, and a reception there for -1.
Yeah, but you always have to keep an eye on him because he could break one. And, you can hold him down for 4, 3 7/8 of a quarter, and he'll break a long one on you. So I don't think Vancouver is really too concerned with that.
Brown gets that one out to Redford again. Redford able to gain a few yards on the play. Set up another third down and long. They've done okay on third down so far tonight, Gerald.
Yeah, and that's been most of their success has been happening on the relatively third and long, at least on that first drive, right? Third and long passes have actually, done them some good. On this play right here, I really expect to see an out route up at the top of the screen and one of their better receivers.
3 and 4 on third down. Now 4 of 5 as the first quarter comes to a close with a nice deep connection to Brett Killian.
And just like it was, look, his offensive line gave him enough time to be able to get the receivers open, especially on that out route. I've seen that earlier on the first drive on the third and long. He was able to hit, BK on that out route and pick up the first.
1 down, 3 to go here in Vancouver. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. I'm Mike Daggs along with Gerald Smith, Mark Mello, James Walters on stats. Cameron Irvine, our producer, Harish Prasad, wants 2 more viewers. I can only imagine why. First down and 10 for the first play of the second quarter. Brown up top to Chris Curtis, and that one is connected for a gain of 9. We've got a very special birthday going on today, Gerald. Owner and head coach of the Vancouver Legion, Andy Hamilton, celebrating his 14th birthday today.
I remember my 14th. I got a basketball goal. I wonder if his parents are going to get him a basketball goal as well.
Most people call them hoops, Gerald.
It's the same thing.
I don't believe that it is. Robert Redford with a nice nice run off tackle to the left. Gets first down yardage up to the 30. It's a basketball hoop. Like a hockey goal would be a goal. But it's a hoop, man.
And it's a hockey net.
What about, it's a soccer goal.
It's a net. They don't say, hey, I put it in the goal. I put it in the back of the net.
No, they say goal.
They say net. maybe in Mexico City because they holler goal.
Goal would be in that according to the Canadian. I don't know. Oh, that one nearly picked off. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself for not hauling that one in. And I'm just, just kidding anyway. Andy, a little older than 14, but he still has that youthful look. Not like us
Yes.
old guys, Gerald.
No, he has hair. He has one of the best beards in the SFL.
Yeah, it's true.
No, that's fact.
It is fact. It is fact. And yes, you are lacking of the hair. Second down run goes for 4. Robert Redford up the middle. Mark Mello confirming it's a basketball net. I don't know. I give up.
Yes, hockey net. Look, I don't know nothing about hockey, right? You know, I'm here from swamps, man. We ain't got no ice down here.
Right. Like when you're trying to fall asleep, you don't count sheep, you count gators.
No, it's mosquitoes because
you
they're out
count
at night.
mosquitoes? Right.
Yeah.
And they're big enough that you can actually spot them from the ground.
Correct.
Brown. Oh, almost threw another pick six. That's the second play on this drive that Tigga Clay has had the ball right in his hands and dropped it. And both times it would have gone for 6. At least that time stops the drive. 4th down and a chance to win. Will come on the field for a field goal try.
Yeah, and they're actually, you know, the Minnesota defense has been, you know, eyeing up some of the stuff that Vancouver has been driving, and it was able to knock both those 2 balls down on those last couple of plays to force this field goal attempt.
3 of 3 last week, 4-2 win. The only points that Vancouver scored, that one is up and good from 43 yards out. Still perfect on the season, now 7 of 7. And Vancouver now out in front with a 2-point lead. Are you liking the game so far? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Either way, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year, and there is nobody else that gives you more football. Don't miss a single minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Return up to the 22-yard line by Banks. Minnesota will continue their attempts to get some points on the board here, Gerald. They're undefeated, and each week of the season, they have defeated their opponent by increasingly bigger numbers. Week 1, they defeated Portland by 8. Then they defeated Los Angeles by 11. Then they defeated Sioux Falls by 15, but now trailing by 10 here early in this one.
Yeah, and they're trying to find themselves in a rhythm right here too, because here they are. In the second quarter, it's the beginning of the second quarter, but they have only, previous to that last play, they only had 20 total yards of offense.
Yeah, whole first quarter, 20 yards to speak of.
And it's kind of weird to say because they are second in the league in yards on offense.
Well, they're starting to get some yards going here on this third possession of theirs. Jason France, the other tight end, alongside Bacigalupi, getting some yards there.
Yeah, and he was able to leak out, right, and just had the linebacker trailing right there. You know, like I said, I've said it before on some other games that I'd take the tight end versus a linebacker any day. Because there ain't no Mike Daggs in the leagues anymore, so,
Oh, he's on the sideline selling tacos during home games. He has a little taco cart on away games. Oh, right into the hands of Buchanan Simons in a very rare drop by the 10-season vet.
Maybe he's like, man, I should have gotten the ball by now. I didn't realize it was going to get thrown to me. But those are the ones you got to pick up because that would have been a pretty large gain. So
yeah.
Because in a game like this, especially down 10-0, I know it's early, right? You need to cash in on those opportunities, especially the way Vancouver's playing defense right now.
7 in the box for Vancouver. 2 wide receiver look for Minnesota. Pass over the middle, swatted down. A great defensive effort. Once again, Earl Fields IV getting his hands on the ball.
They've been doing really good right up the middle of the linebackers, getting their hands on it. I mean, look, I'm not gonna give that one the PI call. He just made a good play. He got his back on that ball, on the one of the previous drives. But here they are. They're forcing a 3rd and long, and they want to test the highest accuracy quarterback in the league right now.
5 wide. Reno over the middle into triple coverage. And that one is incomplete. Was attempting to connect with Jay Taylor, 6'5" target. He's the tallest receiver out there on the field other than Jason France, the tight end. Good quarterback to go to. But Gerald, you look at Reno's stats so far in this one, not looking like the number one guy.
No, he's like right. He's 89.7% completion percentage on the game. On the season, yeah. And here he is. He's at 50% so far. So it just shows that Vancouver has actually done their homework, and they're actually game planning to stop him from being able to beat him.
Doug Day in the chat, excited about tacos. I hear you, man.
It's Saturday.
Johnny Reno. What?
It's Saturday. It's not Tuesday. I know you can eat tacos any day, but it's better on a Tuesday.
Nah, well, yeah, but every day is taco day. Johnny Reno, second in completions, first in completion percentage, first with the fewest picks. He threw one last week. It was his only pick. Number 2 in QBR. But look at this, Chris Curtis with a big play over the middle, going all the way from the 21 to the opponent's 45-yard line. Huge gain for Vancouver.
Yeah, and that man has 107 yards on 7 catches. It's like they can't cover him, and they're finding him. Vancouver is able to find the holes in that Minnesota defense so far, which is why they're actually up, 10-0 right now.
Absolutely. 7 receptions, 106 yards. He's averaging 15 yards per reception. A first down and a half every time you throw it to Curtis. Brown, quick pass over the middle. That one is dropped. Seen a few drops. It's good defense too, Gerald. I mean, a lot of these ones, the one that was thrown on the Minnesota side, the receiver's escaping me right now. Oh, it's Simons. The one that was thrown to Simons, I think, was a true drop. Some of these drops by Vancouver, just good defense. Blackwell hit hard as he went to catch that one.
Yeah, contest the catches, man. That's what you want as a defense. You want to contest the catch. Every time they go up from you, hit them because they got a good chance of dropping the ball.
Brown to Curtis once again. That's good for a gain of 4. Sets up a 3rd down and 3 now. Vancouver still pretty efficient on 3rd down. They went 4 of 5 on 3rd down in the first quarter. They are 0 for 1 so far in the second. Obviously 4 of 6 on the game. 3 wide receiver look now on this 3rd down. Offset eye in the backfield. 3 receiver set. Brown to throw. Quick pass deep over the middle. Triple coverage trying to go back to the well. One too many times. Curtis unable to get that one.
And they didn't have to throw it that far down the field either, right?
No.
I know he was taking a shot, but there were just way too many guys right there in the middle. And he thought Curtis was going to be able to find himself open, but the DB right there and right, he knew exactly what route was running, and he actually ran the route for Curtis, who was able to undercut and knock the ball away.
I had my eyes on Killian. He was open past the 1st down marker, but Brown struggling as well. 13 to 20, 150 yards, 65% completion. I say struggling. He's got a triple-digit quarterback rating, large part due to that touchdown. Struggling completion percentage-wise, Gerald. Both of them in the top 10 in the league in completion percentage, and both of them much, much lower than their normal averages so far in this game.
Yeah, Christian Brown's finding more success in the passing game than Johnny Reno right now. He's just, man, Reno is just, I don't know if it's him or if it's the Vancouver. They're getting constant pressure in his face, and the DBs are covering their guys. And look, they're playing press man right now. Oh,
and sacked on the first play from scrimmage. Minnesota just struggling to get anything going. And Charlie Brown with the sack.
And you're going to see right here. Did you see Papatonis murder that left tackle? He pancaked that guy. And he didn't even get the sack.
Going down the left-hand side, diving.
Dropped it.
No,
What?
diving pick.
Where was it sitting on his hands?
I don't know. I thought that was a diving catch and then it hit the ground.
Oh, it was rolling
It was
on his arm.
He scooped it off his arm.
Wow, Drew Hamilton coming in right there. That's huge.
Drew says, that hasn't touched the ground yet. Don't mind if I do. Dives on the ball and gets the pick. I thought it was caught, then I thought it was dropped, and then, no. Vancouver says, this is my ball. Well, they take over at the Minnesota 39. Redford up the middle for a gain of 1, second down.
Great field position, and now Minnesota's got their work cut out for them right here. And as you can see, look, Redford isn't doing terrible, but he's just right under 3 yards of carry. But they're gonna keep giving the ball, because that's just part of what how their offense is structured, and getting the future Hall of Famer the ball.
Brown, short drop, quick pass over the middle. Chris Curtis, first down at the 20.
They're going to have to start covering Chris Curtis because they can't continue, to let this man, kind of rip through their defensive secondary like that. I mean, that's his 9th catch for 130 yards, and he has a touchdown. Nobody else is even over 35 yards. The next closest is Brett Killian at 34 yards receiving on the day.
Curtis still averaging about 15 yards per reception at 14.4 right now. Redford hit right at the line and dragged down. Second down and 7. As we tick inside 2 minutes to go here. 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why Christian Brown has been pretty successful so far is because of these two offensive linemen, that they have in Culverson and Prokoko, high-paid offensive linemen protecting them.
Redford hit behind the line and tackled for a loss. B.J. Loveless got back there right after the ball was snapped. Third down and 9.
Man was shot out of a cannon. I don't think I've ever seen a linebacker kind of get through the line like that and get a tackle for loss by a couple of yards. That was pretty amazing to see.
Third down to 9. Vancouver trying to get some points off of a turnover. Brown gets it out to Justice Blackwell and sets up a first down and goal at the 6.
And great protection right here to be able to let those wide receiver routes mature. And Christian Brown's didn't miss. He hasn't had great completions percentages so far, but man, he's finding the open guys right now. And he hasn't had really any mistakes.
Brown short drop pressure, and he is sacked. Drop back at the 10-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play. It'll be second down and goal.
Dude, when Max Knight tackled him, it was like
he was just gone.
like it was covered in a blanket. Look,
that's a big blanket, gone. Man.
I'm like, and then he put his weight on him, all 350 pounds. Poor Christian Brown.
He's going to be feeling that one for a while. Max Knight, named Max for a reason. Second and goal. Brown to throw, gets it up top to Sawyer Stearns. Stearns able to gain a yard and is tackled in bounds. Third down and goal from the 9.
And this could be a good thing right here, right? Either find your guy, if you're going to come out in some sort of pass, especially if you have, look, here we go. We have Redford back there. If you don't find your guy, don't force it into the end zone right here. Just dump it off to Redford and take what you can get.
Or even take the sack if you have to. Brown goes towards the end zone, tipped and almost picked off. Was trying to hit Killian for his 100th career touchdown, but it's not going to happen yet. Fourth down and goal, and once again, chance to win onto the field for a field goal try.
And that was Tigger Clay again. Down in that area of the field, down at the bottom on that side, Vancouver has struggled throwing that route. Tigger Clay is right on top of it the last 3 times they have thrown that route his way.
25-yard field goal try from the right hash. Made his kick earlier. Good snap. Good kick. It's up. It's through. 13-0. Vancouver out in front. The Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular this week heads to Portland, where the surprising and winless Florida Storm are desperate for a win against the Fleet, sailing on a high after their win in Los Angeles last weekend. Join Cameron Irvine and Paul Sarp for this week in the SFL pregame, and then at Evox 9X Stadium for the call. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only on SFL YouTube. Turn brought up to the 24-yard line.
Look at those yards, the total yards.
That
Vancouver nearly quadruples what the offensive output that Minnesota has had so far. And this is the number 2 team in yards gained on offense.
Yeah, Minnesota's stats so far look like it could be one drive, but it's been several. See if they can get anything going here. Reno throws it straight to the Legion, bouncing, and somehow caught off the bounce by Buchanan Simons. Couldn't catch the gimme first down, but he catches the quadruple bounce for 3.
I'm laughing because I've seen Farnsey had it like 16 times.
He did. He's a linebacker for a reason, Gerald.
And I can just see head coach Andy Hamel just catch the darn ball.
I'm gonna have to update his name on the broadcast sheet for the broadcast team. Put his nickname down. Old Stolen Hands Farnsey.
Call him Juggles. He was juggling that thing.
Ah, yes. Number 53 for the Vancouver Legion. It is Juggles. It's gonna be kind of like Madonna, just the one name.
Yep,
just Juggles. At least he will be for the remainder of this one. Reno on 3rd down and 5, throws for the first down and a little bit more. Adam Banks with the catch.
And that's arguably the biggest play so far this game for Minnesota right here. Being able to pick up a 3rd and 5. It's kind of strange to say. It's kind of strange to say a 3rd and 5 is a conversion. Is one of their biggest plays so far this game.
That pass was a Matt Wilson special right there, end over end.
Man, look.
2 minutes to go in the first half.
When in doubt, just throw the duck.
That's it. Throw a duck.
Look, man, it got Matt Wilson to be the GOAT.
Sure did.
You know,
if it
he
walks
ducks
like a duck.
Like that.
If it flies like a duck, if it can be caught like a duck, throw the duck.
And he's a SFL champion throwing ducks.
Sure is. Reno on 1st down, out route down to the bottom. Simons gets the catch. Good for 3.
Yeah, they look, and that's not bad. I'm not mad at that, right? They're just taking what the defense is giving them right here because they're look. I won't say they're super struggling, but here we are. Under 2 minutes in the first half, they've got no points, and I don't even think they've gotten past midfield.
It certainly doesn't feel like it. 2nd down and 7. Reno throws it straight to the Legion once again. Somebody might need to check and make sure he knows that the blue jerseys are Vancouver. Michael Lister getting his hands on that one.
Look, Vancouver came prepared, and they were like, hey, it doesn't matter how accurate you are. It doesn't matter any of that. We're gonna try and shut down your pass game because they recognize that their pass game and how efficient that Johnny Reno has been a key to them starting out 3-0.
2:05 on 3rd down. They got a 3rd and 7 here, and they are able to convert. Quig Mam getting the catch, getting the first down in Vancouver territory.
Yeah, I'm not so sure why Vancouver decided, especially on that one, the way they've been playing. When they play kind of press, seemed like they played a little bit further back, and they left a lot of open space. Especially right in the middle for them to convert that.
I have confirmed this is the first time that Minnesota is operating in Vancouver territory tonight, as it looks like Comisac got that carry. Good for a gain of only 1.
Yeah, look, and if they want to just kind of close this gap, they're gonna have to get some points because they are looking to get the ball after halftime right here. So if they get at some point, it's Essex step in the right direction.
Reno.
God.
Hit as he throws. Gerald Giudice all over him. The ball falls down to the turf. Third down. Now up to 50% on third downs, 3 of 6.
Look, and I don't think he's going to want to see Giudice anymore. He's got a sack on the first play of the game. He's been, putting constant pressure like right up the middle, and almost picked up another sack. He was just able to get it loose.
Reno, 3rd and 9. Pressure once again and sacked. Ripped down at the 44-yard line.
Womack. Oh,
he's just standing. Look at him. He's just.
I don't want to replay. His inside move that he put from the defensive end position to be able to come right on the inside and beat his man and get that sack. It was a thing of beauty.
Listen, the move may have been a thing of beauty, but I actually like his celebration even more. Literally just gets up, stands there like, what's up? Like, what's everybody looking at? Just doesn't even flinch. Just sacks him, stands up, and stands there. That's like the ultimate taunt without taunting. Trying to pin the ball down inside the 5, and they do, all the way down at the 2-yard line. A fantastic punt by Minnesota, and Vancouver's going to have very precarious starting field position. Gerald, we saw safety last week. In fact, it was Vancouver that got safety last week.
Right. So they're gonna. It's going to be interesting to play call. I like the play alignment here, especially up against this defensive set.
Brown hands it off to Redford. Redford gets out of the shadow of his own goalpost, able to gain 4, and that will tick away the final seconds here in the first half. And it does indeed bring us to the end of the first half. The undefeated Minnesota Legend have not yet scored. 13-0 Vancouver out in front. As we take a look at the halftime stats and highlights, Gerald, your thoughts so far?
And look at these total yards right
Unbelievable.
here. So that's that's the story of the game. Look and look at the pressure on the quarterback that Vancouver's getting compared to Minnesota, right? So that's why Minnesota has struggled so far. Vancouver has put together quite the game plan on defense to stop the number 2 offense in the league. So they've done everything they could as far as Vancouver to be able to win, put themselves in a really good position to win this game. All they have to do is just kind of keep going with what they have. And on the side of Minnesota, they're going to have to figure something out because they've only got across the 50 one time, and that was right at the end.
It was, yeah. It's been all Vancouver so far. They started off strong, a nice kick return, bringing them up to the 37-yard line for the opening possession. 10 plays, 64 yards later, they would connect on a 19-yard touchdown pass to Chris Curtis, getting the proverbial monkey off their back of having not scored a touchdown last week and only 1 touchdown all season by a receiver. Look at that interception there. That was a crazy play. Minnesota 3-and-out on their opening possession. Vancouver would punt on their next possession. Minnesota would punt once again. Vancouver getting the ball back 11 plays, 51 yards later, they would score a 43-yard field goal. Minnesota again with the punt. Vancouver going, they were able to gain 40 yards on their next possession. They had a really nice play that got them some decent yards, but still had to punt that one away. And that wacky interception, Minnesota throwing the ball, looked like a diving catch instead, picked up off the turf. Vancouver would score points off the turnovers, a 25-yard field goal, and then just a punt and then end of the first half. So all Vancouver so far, but only 13 points to show for it. 13-0, chance to win to kick this one away. I'm Mike Daggs. He is the one and only Gerald Smith. Mark Mello, James Walters doing a great job for us on stats. Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters on production. 13-0 Vancouver here at home. They lost their home opener last week. Gerald so far on track to try to secure their first win here in Canada this season.
Yeah, and they look like they're well on the way to do it, especially the way they played defensively and offensively, right? They was able to score a touchdown this week. So, but their defense is playing lights out right now.
Reno on the first play of the second half is able to connect with his target. 11 of 20 for 73 yards in the first half, Gerald. He only averaged 3.7 yards per attempt. His completion percentage not much higher than your age. His QBR was lower than that. No touchdowns, 1 pick. A very different start for Reno this week than we've seen in the first 3.
Right, and here in the last, at least we know in the last 6 quarters, he hadn't thrown a touchdown.
Nice run for Minnesota as they hand it off to Chris Komisak, the fullback. They use Komisak pretty much just as much as they use Colin Hart. Komisak with 19 carries last week to Colin Hart's 13.
He was real patient with that last run right there, right? There was nothing in there that he saw what the hole that was supposed to be there wasn't there, and he was able to just slide out past the tackles, and they'd be able to pick up some yards.
Reno fires over the middle. Jason France getting involved once again. Gets his second catch of the ball game, and that one good for a first down.
And Marcus Reed was right there. These linebackers are playing the middle right there pretty good. But, here's the Jason France. They're getting themselves in a position. Here they are again in Vancouver territory with this last play. And they need something on this drive.
Reno on first down. Quick pass down to the bottom. Jay Taylor getting the catch as we see the quarterback comparison. Obviously the telling difference right there, other than the yards, Gerald, the touchdown versus the pick.
Right, and at the halftime, I don't know if they got, Mama was here and give them their orange slices and give them a pep talk or something, but look, they came out and they're able to start to move the ball now, right? And they look a lot more comfortable. They don't look like they're frazzled.
Yeah, much better drive so far. They've crossed midfield for the second time in the game, and they've been getting first down after first down. Komisak getting the catch and the first down there. And inside field goal range, just on the cusp of it, at least.
Yeah. I think they are in field goal range for double M7. But look, these guys, it looks like they're on a mission to go. Like they want a touchdown right here.
Ball is handed off, trying to fight through, breaking tackles. Oh wow, what a powerful 7-yard run by Colin Hart.
That was ridiculously entertaining. It looked like they had him in the back. He's able to slip one tackle, and they had him again. He slipped that tackle, and it took him about 2 guys to get him right at the end.
Reno with a short drop, and then another first down. Gerald, it looked like the Minnesota offense was, for lack of better words, broken. The entire first half really couldn't get anything going until that final drive. It looks like the halftime adjustments have paid off. Very methodical and efficient so far on the opening drive of the second half.
Yeah. I think they was able to get their quarterback a little bit calmed down and kind of looked at the first half film on what worked and what didn't, and how they can attack that Vancouver defense. And so far, it's been paying off.
Colin Hart only is able to gain 1 there, but down inside the red zone, and looking good on this one. 2nd and 9.
They're inside the 15. So and the way they've actually ran the ball. Look at this guy, man. He's getting up in that guy's face, and then he backs away 10 yards. That was interesting.
4 receiver look now for Minnesota up top. Back to Jason France. # throw it to the tight end. That seems to be working for him, Gerald. See if they can get it back to Christian Bachagalupi. He was not used last week. He does have a catch in this one. One reception for 6 yards. France now 3 catches, 27 yards.
Yeah, and I think right here, you're either going to go to, I would go to Komisak or Hart right here. Those guys have run the ball pretty tough so far. Ooh, man.
And a great defensive stand as Vancouver's able to swallow up Colin Hart before he could get anything going on that carry. 4th down and 3. But at least we'll get to see Mickey Melillo out for a field goal try. Get some points off the board. Get that goose egg out of here.
Yeah, man, Juggles and Fields just was in the backfield so quick. to be able to stop that from even having a chance of having success.
The field goal from 24 yards out. It's up, and it is good. And Minnesota gets some points on the board, but still trailing by 2 scores. Did you miss any SFL action? Want to fast forward your SFL experience? You can check out highlights of the SFL games on the SFL YouTube channel and on Highlight Nation, provided by Victor's Valiant, YouTube's premier sports highlight maker. Subscribe to Highlight Nation and Victor's Valiant on YouTube for all your college football and basketball highlight needs, in addition to what he does for us here at the Simulation Football League. And Gerald, it is a great way to get caught up if you miss some games. Especially if you drive a lot for a living, you can pull up YouTube on your phone, plug it in, and let those highlights roll. You can get caught up on a whole week worth of action in under an hour.
It's crazy because there's sometimes between 8 to like 14 minutes long. It's a nice snippet. You catch everything you need for the game, and it's entertaining as well. Just put it on loop.
Off tackle run to the right, good for a gain of 3. Josh Farnsworth in the chat might be related to number 53 on Vancouver, Josh Farnsey. Says Juggles can't catch, but he can track a running back or 2 down. So yeah, he's definitely good at getting those tackles like we saw in that last defensive play by Vancouver. Brown on 2nd down and 7. Gets the ball out to Curtis and powers forward for the first down.
I don't think he knew what route he was running. Christian Brown hit him anyway, and Curtis turned around and says, "Oh, there's the first down. Let me run to it." Interesting route to the first down marker, I tell you.
Chris Curtis, double-digit receptions, 137 yards, and we are only midway through quarter number 3. Brown in the gun. Slants formation. Justice Blackwell with the catch. Gets 8.
And this is where Minnesota is going to have to start, to tighten up because they can't allow Vancouver. Here they are. Vancouver's 9 yards from midfield. And, they just can't allow Vancouver. They have to force some 3-and-outs and get their offense back on there, who was really efficient for the first time in the game. So if they can get their offense back out there and keep Vancouver scoring points, they have a chance here.
Oh, Redford stuffed at the line. Absolutely driven down. B.J. Lovelace with the tackle. No gain, 3rd down.
And these running backs are not having a whole lot of success. Here they are. Robert Redford's 2.5 a carry. The more, look, and this thing, 35 and 23 yards so far on the game after they ran crazy last week.
They're down in 3. Ball is handed off to Komisak, and he will not get it. He gained 2 on the play. And that is all. And there's the official stat line. Redford now with 2.4 yards per carry. He actually lost a yard on that 2nd down rush. Loveless with the TFL, 4th down now. And both teams out on the field for opening possessions already in the second half. Minnesota able to get a 24-yard field goal to get some points on the board. Vancouver having to punt this one away. So momentum possibly shifting in Minnesota's favor. See what they can do on this drive, starting from their own 27-yard line.
They got a bit of answer that that last drive where they got 3 with some points here as well, just to prove to themselves that, hey, look, we did it once, we can go down there, we can do it again, and that's definitely, in my opinion, is something that's going to boost their confidence.
Christian Brown on 1st down, hands that one off to the real Chris Komisak. Not to be confused with Robert Redford on Vancouver. My brain likes to play tricks on me, Gerald.
Yeah, that's all those mic issues and cable management before the game. It was hectic in the booth before the game. You off your game a little bit.
Harish Prasad, clueless announcer. I agree. Reno getting that one out to Colin Hart. No gain. Well, they'll spot him a yard. Earl Fields with the tackle. 9 incompletions today for Reno. 11 of the first, he had only had 11 incompletions in the first 3 games combined. That note from Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters. Another third down for Minnesota.
It's unheard of.
Reno up top, and that one's batted away. And I think, there's no denying why these incompletions have been happening, Gerald. Case in point right there, Marquise Reed. This Vancouver defense has been all over it.
I tell you what, Reed, the former safety in the league, converted to linebacker here. He's no stranger to picking balls off or knocking them down or whatever. So he knows how to read quarterback eyes and be able to knock the ball down. And here they are. They forced a 3 and out, and now Vancouver's can get the ball back.
11 plays, 69 yards on their first drive. That's right, Harish Prasad, 11 plays, 69 yards on their first drive of the second half. Ending in a field goal, this drive goes for 6 yards, a 3 and out. Harish brings up a good point, Gerald. The feral cats that are loose here in the stadium might be causing some of the distractions.
Yeah, changing your roster sheet from one team to the other.
It did. It was the cat that hit the mouse, and I thought it was a real mouse, and it shifted the sheet. 28s looked like other 28s. Chaos, pandemonium, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Christian Brown in the gun, Robert Redford nowhere to be seen. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left, a tight end with his hand in the grass. Brown to throw. One over the top, and that one in traffic, but it's caught anyway. Hector Huxley getting in on the action. First down, Vancouver.
I don't know how Rick Evans doesn't bat that down or pick that off himself. He undercut that. Look, oh man, like that was. I tell you what, I would have been lost. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not on the field as a receiver, because I would have said, "No, man, that dude got that." It'd probably hit me in the face. But Huxley is kind of, concentrated, and he's like, "Yeah, I got that."
First down and 10 from their own 44. Brown over the middle finds Blackwell. Good for 6. Up to midfield, Chris Curtis and Justice Blackwell both getting things done for Vancouver. A combined 170 yards in the game so far.
Yeah, but and Vancouver has got to get down inside of field goal range, because the last few times they've kind of gotten down here, right? They've struggled, and Minnesota's been in bend but don't break mode on defense. So Vancouver's got to find a way to break it down a little bit.
Robert Redford with the carry. He'll gain 3, third down and 1. Yeah, they got to try to get some more points off of this drive. Still with a 2-score advantage. 6 of 10 on third down. First quarter, they were doing really great, Gerald. 4 of 5. And then in the second quarter, only 1 of 4. So far, 1 of 1 here in quarter number 3.
Minnesota's adjusted to him.
And Redford's going to get that first down and more. Was untouched all the way down to the 31-yard line, and then a costly mistake by Daniel Wright as he drags Redford down by the face mask.
They're going to be down to the 15, if not inside the 15.
And the Legion do accept the penalty, of course. Christian Bacciagalupi calling for that to be a hold. I don't think so.
Hold on to the man's face mask.
Either that, or was that a horse collar tackle? Kind of looked like that. No, you never can tell. 15-yard penalty either way. First down and 10 from the 16.
Almost looked like he tried to poke him in the eye.
That's what Matt used to do. Somebody would sack him, he'd jab him in the eye. Only got caught once that I know of. He would do it every time, though. Yeah, it's legal if you don't get caught. Brown, under pressure, throws, and somehow it is caught. Wow, what a dart. Getting it up to James Walters, 2nd and 1.
Man, poor Rick Evans is the second time he lost track of the ball and wasn't able to knock it down. He was right there. I think he's just trying to get that pick 6 or something, because, oh, man, I don't know. He was right there.
Final play of the third quarter is Robert Redford. He's running, he's spinning, breaking tackles, and almost into the end zone. Not going to quite get there. but it sets the Legion up with a first down and goal from the 1.
That was an interesting run. Very interesting. Lots of entertainment value in that one.
3 corners in the books. 11 minutes remains here in Vancouver, Canada. The Legion out in front. They've got the ball. They're at the 1-yard line. First and goal. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Mark Mello, James Walters on stats. Cameron Irvine back in the headquarters producing for us. Brown to throw on first and goal from the 1. Gets it to Redford into the end zone. Touchdown, Vancouver.
I tell you what, that was probably a nerve-wracking sequence right there. I saw all of the receivers converge in the back of the end zone. But Christian Brown, being the the 6-year veteran like he is, he just said, nah, I'm going to just take the easy route. Nobody's covering Redford. He's been kind of, only had nothing but one good play so far, but is able to hit him out there in the flats. And now they could possibly put themselves up by 17 and be in the driver's seat here in the fourth quarter.
Vancouver 6.5-point underdogs by Jack's data. The last time that Vancouver was a home underdog was in season 18, week 6 versus Florida. They were 6.5 points underdog in that one. They won that game 41-24. So lesson to be learned here. Don't tell Vancouver that they're an underdog at home. They get mad.
I think, that's pretty apparent. Oh, and one thing of note too, right? I think owner, head coach Andy Hamilton, I think he actually cut that turf out on that half of the field, because here they are. They got 10 points down there on that side of the field today. So and that's more than what they had all last week.
That is true. That left side of the field, as we sit up here in the booth, was just bad mojo for both teams, quite frankly. Nothing good happened down on that half of the field. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Johnny Reno throws and completes the pass to Buchanan Simons. They're going to mark it as second down and inches, Gerald, as we see the quarterback comparison. Christian Brown having a much better day.
Yeah, one thing we know the league didn't change is receivers. Look, and he made a good. I don't know if I'd challenge that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, but he's not wrong. I think he's going to win the challenge. But, so I guess why not throw it? But, it'll be a second down and 1 or second down and inches, I think.
Yeah, but you only get 2 of them, right? Unless you win the next one. So I mean, you're banking on you potentially either not using your challenge or winning the next one to get that third.
Yeah, I think I would have just hurried back to the line and tried to just hammer it forward for the inches. But Minnesota wins the challenge; they get the first down.
Yeah, you can't be mad at it because they won it. I just think it was a. I don't know. I still don't know why you would do it. Like, it almost say, no, offense, I don't think you can pick the inches up. So let's just throw the flag and get it. It's so weird.
Axel Raven bringing up a good point. Canada uses the metric system. It was actually second down in millimeters. Even easier to get. Colin Hart stuffed for a loss of 3 on the play.
And that's why you throw the flag.
Yeah. And we're wrong.
Because now they would be, a third and,
Third and 4, so yeah.
Yeah.
Now 4 wide receiver set on second down. Look to at least get half back here. And they're going to go for a lot more than half, and they do. A jumping catch at the 46-yard line. Climbing that ladder, Jason France.
Yeah, and he's been probably one of their constants, right? On this game and being able to throw, them throwing the ball and him actually coming down with the catch. I would have liked to see him not jump and catch it in stride, because who knows, he may be able to break an ankle tackle and they'd be dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, why not throw it to the tallest guy on the field, though? Jason France, 6'7", 270 pounds. Reno down to the bottom. That one's good for a gain of 3.
They're moving the ball, and that's all. Look, and that's all they can ask their offense to do right now, right? I mean, they're running their, efficient offense that they've kind of ran all season thus far. So, but they're starting to kind of run out of time. I know we have over 9 minutes left, but if they can't stop Vancouver, I mean, they're gonna run out of time.
Reno throws this one behind the line of scrimmage and tackled for a loss. Earl Fields the 4th, getting to Hart, and it'll be another long 3rd down.
Reno saw Judah Sessi and said, "I gotta get rid of this thing." He was just Judah Sessi was right in his face, and he just sidearm dumped it off to Colin Hart. It's like, man, go. Hopefully he picks something up. I can't get hit again.
Here, you take it. I'm out. Well, Earl Fields saw that one coming too. Reno attempting to get the 1st down, and they do. Great connection over the middle to Adam Banks. Gets them the 1st down at the 36.
Yeah, and Adam Banks, he used to be in Louisiana. We used to call him Mr. 3rd down. Always good for catching those 3rd downs and picking up the 1st. And he did it again there. Got him in nearly on the edge of field goal range here.
Down by 17 with 8 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the ball game, and that pass trying to get it out to Simons. The 9th target going his way. He's got 5 catches. Could not haul that one in. Only 28 yards to speak of for Simons.
Yeah, and one of their better guys, right, who've been catching the ball has been Adam Bakes and Jason France, who is actually their leading receiver right now. So, I mean, find that guy and, find him open, and it looks like France is out there right now in the bunch.
Short drop by Reno. He'll go up top. Banks gets the catch. 3rd down and 6. He's able to gain 4.
We'll see if Banks can repeat what he did on 3rd down before they reset the downs on this set of 3 right here. But this is extremely important. Don't take a sack. Don't lose any yards because you are on the edge of field goal range here. You take a sack, you're very likely out of field goal range.
And that one is batted away again. Fields right in the middle. Been all over the place for this Vancouver defense. And Mickey Melillo on his way out for a long field goal attempt.
Yeah, double M7, as I call him. Let's see if he can get there and get his team within 2 scores with this long field goal. Look like it may be a 49, 50-yarder. 48-yarder?
Yeah, about 48 yards out from the left hash. Melillo so far on the season, perfect. 9 of 9. Can he get this one through? And he does from 48. 10 of 10 now on the season for Mickey Melillo. And that brings us down to a 2-score game.
Yeah, 2-score game, but it being that 2-score game, and Minnesota has never been close enough, for them to be able to punch the ball in. So that's the only thing, right? They have not broken the end zone yet this game through nearly 3.5 quarters.
Melillo kicks this one away. Justice Blackwell in on the return. 3-minute drive, 10 plays, 44 yards. And this defense from Minnesota, they've got to get this ball back. Christian Brown having a fantastic night for Vancouver. 22 of 30, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Gerald, last week, he went 26 of 38, no touchdowns, 4 picks. So quite the turnaround for Christian Brown. See if he can keep it clean on this drive.
Yeah, all he has to do is just keep doing what he's been doing.
Play action. Brown down to Curtis. Haven't called his name in a little while, Gerald, but he adds on to his stats. His 11th catch of the ball game goes for 9.
Yep, saw the ball and was able to catch it, keep his feet in bounds and spin out, but he didn't see his teammate, Justice Blackwell. He just pushed him over on the sideline. So get out of my way. I'm the leading receiver today.
It's mine. Robert Redford slowly adding on to his yardage total. He's got 18 carries for 62 yards now. It's going to add on to it here. Gets a few yards there. Gains 4, gets the first down.
Yeah, Max Knight had they had all kind of trouble in the backfield, but Redford was able to hop over the mess that Max Knight created and pick up the first down. And Vancouver, look, here they are now, right? They're not far from midfield, and I think they're looking to chew up some clock.
Brown goes up top, finds Curtis again. Another 9-yard catch. Falls out of bounds. Clock stopped with 7:05. We've got an update from San Diego. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ.
Thank you, Mike. Plenty of defense going on in San Diego tonight as well, surprisingly, but it's Vegas putting another unbeaten team in the SFL on notice right now. Eric Price to Mason Kirby. The Fury lead the San Diego Mavericks 20-13 in the third. Join us over there after your game is done. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. Second down and 1. The ball is handed off and good for the first down. Robert Redford rumbling forward for about a yard. Sunday on SFL, YouTube. Pair of much improved 2-1 teams do battle down by the bayou when Ryan Roosevelt and the Indianapolis Ramblers head south to take on Randy Squarebush and Gerald Smith's Louisiana Revolution. My goodness. Kickoff is at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:45 p.m. Central Time for those of you in Louisiana, only on SFL YouTube.
I think you're trying to channel your Cajun speak, man.
I was
they got
trying,
all kind
man,
of
but I was trying. I couldn't get it out, and it started. My words were tripping over each other, and it was like I tripped over a gator or something. It just didn't work. I don't know what's going on, man. Robert Redford, 67 yards now on 20 carries. He continues to tote the rock here, keep that clock moving. Minnesota needing to get that stop and get that ball back. Their last drive took them 3 minutes. They don't have time for 2 more 3-minute drives, and they need them both to be scores to even tie this one back up. 3rd down and 2, a big 3rd down here.
Right. And look, and Vancouver's milking the clock. I expect them to hand it to Redford again here.
And they do with blockers out in front. Do they get there? No, they get the stop.
That was close. If
Very
anybody's gonna challenge anything, I'd have the birthday boy throw that flag out there to see if you can just pick this up just on a try, and he's not gonna challenge it.
Not going to challenge it. Maybe he got it. Well, they're going to keep the offense out there. I guess that's why they're just going to go for it. See what they do here. And they do snap the ball. Redford he falls across and gets it. I thought he got stopped. He falls across the line to gain. And wow, what a gutsy move by the birthday boy, and it pays off.
BJ Lovelace met him in the hole, but Robert Redford just had the momentum just to be able to just, technically just fall forward and pick it up. That was huge.
Heartbreaking for Minnesota. That would have been great starting field position, and now another couple minutes will tick off of this clock. Redford, he's just continuing to do work. A 9.9-yard gain, 2nd down and inches as we approach the 4-minute mark.
And he's going to be starting. Redford's going to start approaching the 100-yard mark, right? He's got 86 yards on the day now, and time's a ticking away for Minnesota right here. And they need to start getting some tackles for loss or something like that, because they can't allow a field goal.
Inside 4 minutes. 2nd down and inches. Redford gets the first down, and now if they keep it on the ground, they'll be able to take it down all the way to the 2-minute warning. Hey, don't leave the stream without joining our Discord server. There is so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survival pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon on the menu. The SFL community, 2,000 strong, including Harish Prasad. We will see you there. The Redford show continues. Looking a little bit slower, though, now, Gerald. Gerald, would you be tempted to start calling your timeouts around this 3-minute mark? You need 2 scores.
Yeah, you have to start slowing them down in some way, shape, or form, especially the clock, right? Because they're actually going against Vancouver in the clock at this point. Because look, they've only amassed 6 points in 3 and like 7/8 of a quarter. So, I mean, they have to do something to be able to slow the clock down to try and be able to get the ball back. Hopefully, they can force a turnover of some sort to be able to get the ball back and keep this a 2-score lead and go down. They have to score quick.
11 plays so far on this drive that's been over 5 minutes long. And with that run, if they don't call a timeout, which they don't, it'll bring us down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I think this will go down a 2-minute warning here. And look, and if I was head coach Andy Hamilton right here, it's 3rd and 6. I wouldn't put the ball in the air to save my life, because if you put the ball in the air, you risk a turnover.
2 minutes to go here in Vancouver. The Legion out in front, 2 scores, and looking to put another one on the board to bring this one out of reach. I am Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. Mark Mello and James Walters, they know what they're doing, at least, down in the production truck. Cameron Irvine doing a stellar job on production, as always. Christian Brown, they're going to go to the air. Brett Killian with the catch. They're trying to get Killian that 100th career touchdown.
My heart stopped right there when I saw him drop back the pass. But look, and maybe that's what Minnesota was not expecting that, right? It kind of caught him flat-footed and looking for the run, and when they came back in the pass, and left a bunch of holes right in the middle. So I think Vancouver is just gonna, you're gonna see a heavy dose of Robert Redford now, and they're gonna look to just kind of milk it away.
They will indeed. Brown hands this one off to Redford, going back down to him. He'll be tackled for a loss this time. Minnesota will burn their second timeout. Chris Curtis so far with 12 catches on the day. Gerald, all of the other Legion players combined have 12 catches.
Yeah, and he almost has receiving yards of the same thing Johnny Reno has throwing.
He does, yeah. It's not too far off. Brett Killian getting that last catch, adding to his total at least. Redford stuffed behind the line. They're down and 15 now, as Minnesota will burn their final timeout. So we'll see what they do on this next snap, Gerald. If they run it, they'll be able to kick that field goal. Will be about a minute to go in the ball game, and then Minnesota will get the ball back, but they'll be down 3 scores, probably out of reach at this stage.
And it looks like you can do anything out of here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and hit Brett Killian for that touchdown, because they feel like they got it in the bag right now.
Brett Killian going across the middle. Now they're going to go to Chris Curtis. He tried to one-hand catch it in the end zone. Oh, that would have brought his total up to about Johnny Reno's as well, but that, fortunately for Vancouver, falls harmlessly to the turf. So Minnesota, they got to try to get the block on this field goal. I imagine they'll be coming for it. Great defensive play there by Minnesota.
Right. Meerkat laid him out. I don't think Meerkat even cared about the ball. He just seen a Vancouver guy coming across the middle and said, I'm going to just lay him out.
It's not over, says Christian Bachagalupi. It's not. There's still time left. We've seen some crazy things here in this league. Let's see what happens in this one. But first, chance to win on for a 34-yard field goal try. Still perfect. Kick is up. Kick is good. Vancouver 23, Minnesota 6. It just has not been Johnny Reno's night. 24 of 36, 170 yards. He has no touchdowns through his second pick of the season. 66.7% completion percentage right now, Gerald.
Yeah, look, and that's credit to the Vancouver defense, because they've frustrated him and the entire Minnesota offense all game long. And as far as yards go, I mean, they've only had that's like less than half of what they average on the season per game.
Taken back from the goal line. I was kind of hoping for a kick return touchdown there. Just to add some spice into the mix. Banks gets it up to the 23-yard line. See what Reno can do. No Minnesota receiver has over 50 yards. Jason France, the leading receiver for the Legend, 4 receptions for 50 yards. Next closest is Adam Banks with 32. Out route down to the bottom to get this started, going back down to France, and why not?
I mean, he's been your best ball catcher, all night long, and I mean, doing 6-yard routes isn't the greatest thing, right? I mean, you got to push it down the field if you want to give yourself a chance. You're down 3 scores, I mean, you got to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal on top of it, man. You got to start pressing the field and stop worrying about your stats or lack thereof or whatever it is. I mean, you need to give yourself a chance.
Reno to throw up top, complete, and getting out of bounds once again. So both those plays hit, working those sidelines, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. That one good for first down yardage. Jay Taylor with the catch.
Yep, and that's the more routes that I'd like to see. Not the 6 yards. Let's get the 10 or 15-yard out routes like that. Better catch it and get out of bounds, and then you're using up minimal time. The average play in the SFL is like 5 seconds. So shoot, you do that, 5 or 6 times, you could be find yourself in the end zone. Still over a minute left.
Reno with 5 wide receivers going deep down the left-hand side. Got his target off to the races. He's going to go for 6. Touchdown, Minnesota. And they cut into Vancouver's lead.
Yeah, they're not quite out of it yet, but I'm not so sure if they had if the backups were in there or not. But that guy just couldn't cover. Yeah, it looks like they had the kind of backups in there. But look, Minnesota made the play to put themselves in there. They're trying to close it down to 10 points, and that's what they needed. They needed a quick score, and they got it. And now they're going to hope for the onside here, and if they get it, and they can close the gap some more.
Warren Arias Stantomaterix, the corner that was in on the coverage, got burned, and burned bad on that one. Minnesota going for the extra point to make this one a 10-point ball game, and then we'll see the onside kick coming up. Extra point is up, and it is good by Malillo. And now a more respectable score for Minnesota, 23-13, trailing right now, and Malillo getting the onside kick teed up. If they can get it, they're still alive. If Vancouver recovers, the game is over.
Yeah. Head coach Andy Hamilton lead to have his best hands team out there.
Ball is bouncing away, bouncing around, and it is recovered by, it looks like Minnesota got it.
Did they get it? I thought Vancouver got it. It looked like Chris Curtis snatched it up.
Well, maybe I'm more blind than Curtis. No, you're right. It was indeed recovered by Chris Curtis. I can't see.
He saw it.
He saw it, and that's all that matters. As Brett Killian will go one more week, still without that 100th career touchdown, as he stands back waiting for the kneel down. We'll see a couple more of those, and Mark Lopez can recommend a good eye doctor to me. Believe it or not, I had laser eye surgery. There was just a lot of people there. So you saw it, Gerald. I should just let you call those from now on.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking for a blue jersey under there, and Chris Curtis happened to pop up. I said, I guess he had it. And then I heard the fans cheering. I got good hearing too.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I was not listening for the crowd. Brett Solberg in the chat saying that it has been now 6 games since the last Brett Killian touchdown. And there's been so many over his career. But 100 touchdown watch continues next week. We'll see what happens in that one. Vancouver is going to improve to 3-1 on the season. Minnesota will fall to 3-1 on the season. Next up for Minnesota, they will return home next week, Monday, February 13th at 7 p.m. We'll host Indianapolis. For Vancouver, they'll be home for the 3rd straight game on Friday, February 10th, 10:30 p.m. They will host Portland right here in Vancouver. Final in this one, Vancouver 23, Minnesota 13. Gerald, your final thoughts on this game?
It was the Vancouver defense. They're going to get my game ball, you know, from this one right here, because they frustrated the Minnesota offense from the get-go. Shut them down up until the end, and it took them to kind of, you know, think they had the game in hand, you know, Vancouver, and put some of their backups in on defense that only was Minnesota allowed to score a touchdown there. So, you know, Vancouver put together a very, very good, you know, scheme and game plan, right? They eliminated the, you know, the turnovers that they had from last week coming into this week, and they also put together a similar defense that they had last week and only allowed 12 points, and here it is, they only allowed 13 points total. They are one of the best defenses in terms of, you know, defensive points allowed, and that's why, you know, the superior coaching in Vancouver is just shown through, right, with them making, you know the playoffs season after season after season. And here it is today. They brought their 8+ game to be able to take down one of the last remaining unbeaten in the league.
Tie game over in San Diego, and the fourth quarter just getting underway there. Las Vegas and San Diego both tied at 20. Never mind, I lied. Las Vegas just scored a touchdown, and they take the lead. So as we wrap this one up, recommend heading over there to see what's going on in the rest of that one. Player of the game, Chris Curtis, of course, with his 155-yard performance. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Final score, Vancouver 23, Minnesota 13. For Gerald Smith, Mark Mello, James Walters, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit. On every broadcast, I'm Mike Dagg saying thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have a great night, everybody.